Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another pair of subscriber replays. This video, the tanks we're going to see, well, it's all about that auto-loading goodness. So we're kicking off proceedings with the T71. Now the T71 is a machine I've showcased a fair few times before, both my own games and games from you guys. But firstly, it's a tank I really like, so I have no problem showing some more games of it. And secondly, I think since I last showed one, they've given it the HD model, which is a bit controversial. Some people think it looks a lot better. I think it looks like it's been hit in the face with a cricket bat, which is a shame because I used to love the T71. It's a really cute little machine. I mean, I still love the T71, but it's just not as pretty as it once was. Anyway, it's being driven for us today by I Am Not Dave, and he is in a clan called NOTD, which I assume stands for Not Dave, so I wouldn't be surprised if he were the clan commander. And obviously, because he's called Not Dave, I am going to call him Dave, because it's a damn sight easier to say. So, Dave is here in a tier 8 game, which effectively means he's top tier. Of course, light tanks get match made as if they are one tier higher than they actually are. So a tier 7 light tank, like the T71 here, can see tier 8 games at best and tier 10 games at worst. Comes with a little 6-round autoloader, for those who don't know, about 170 penetration, 150 alpha damage per shot, so not too dissimilar to the British 17-pounder actually. But of course, like I said, this is a 6-round autoloader. Now I should mention that Dave here is on the Prokhorovka map, which is a damn good light tank map. Still one of those few maps that still has viable passive spotting locations and lots of open space to move around, and hasn't been corridorified. Well, it was a little bit, but hasn't been completely corridorified. You know, so that is something. Having said that, this isn't just going to be, I promise, as far as I'm aware anyway, one of those games where Dave just sits in a bush and gets 20,000 spotting damage. I have shown videos like that before. Whoa, there we go, there's a kill. Dave is actually going to kill some things, as you can see there. Now this is actually a pretty good little gun to have on this tank, but it's not the most accurate gun in the world, so its performance at long range, it's not the best. It's not a sniping gun. I mean, obviously if you can, I guess, you know, take advantage of that, but it's not a sniping gun. Now, there are a series of bushes in front of Dave's location that you can actually go into, and that you will have seen myself and other people in replays go into in order to pick up a good amount of spotting damage. Now, Dave has taken a slightly more cautious approach, which on the one hand means he doesn't pick up that spotting damage, which you could argue is a bit of a mistake. The flip side is that he is able to put lots of flanking fire into those fellows over at E6, and so far he's picked up 2 kills, a Chi-Ri and a Lorr. So he's doing some good work with this 76mm gun. Moves forwards into some other bushes, and I know for a fact that in addition to the binos and the camo net, I believe he said Dave is running optics as well. So he's got basically, well, a very good view range. I was about to say the best view range he's going to get, but technically vents would improve that. But he's got a pretty damn good view range. There's a Jagdtiger. Doesn't look like Dave's the one doing the spotting because there's a bush between them, although Dave does get spotted for firing the gun and really needs to be somewhere else. Oh gosh. Yeah, that was almost very painful. And Dave, frankly, here could go for a reload on the magazine because it's unlikely that he's going to be shooting something for the next few seconds as he concentrates on running away. And just as I say that, it's as if either I'm psychic. I haven't actually seen the, you know, I haven't gone through this replay in detail to know exactly when Dave does everything, by the way, but either I'm psychic or Dave can hear me in the past. Or great minds think alike, and so do ours. Either way. Dave returns now to this bush, and really in this bush he needs to be careful and wants to not fire the gun too much. Preferably at all. This is the thing with doing passive spotting. If you fire the gun, that can be a bit of a problem, but there's a Cromwell over there who's begging to be killed, and Dave doesn't get spotted. Now, of course, this does highlight the value of Sixth Sense. If Dave didn't have Sixth Sense, he wouldn't have known earlier on that he was spotted, and that could have ended very badly. Takes a couple of blind shots at the IS-3. goes for a reload. Unlike the French light tanks, the Americans actually carry a fairly respectable amount of ammo. And it's really quite sad seeing tanks like the T71 and the M41 Walker Bulldog, just because they completely bring the French auto-loading lights into obsolescence. You know, they are arguably better at tier 7 than the AMX 1390 is at tier 8. So, there's that. IS-3 is hiding behind a Lorr, except when he pokes out. And an ally in a Stug just drowned himself. Why was there even a Stug in this game? I assume fail platoon. Ah well, what you gonna do? Unfortunately, the IS-3 is tracked here, but Dave is reloading, the wonders of having a magazine. So Dave can't finish the guy off, which is a bit of a shame. Someone else puts a shot down there, but the guy doesn't die. Dave has a punt, but the guy is probably not there anymore, you know. Even a pretty shoddy repair skill would put the tracks on, I think, faster than it would take a T71 to reload its magazine. The reload on the mag for this gun, by the way, is around about 20 seconds. Not going to bother shooting the Jagdtiger, that wouldn't do much, but AMX 5100. Fairly soft target and a high priority target considering the damage he can output. Dave once again is on a reload. So this is very much playing a light tank as damage support, and you might look at it and go, well, maybe that's a little bit wasted, and you could make that case because in this situation you're on an excellent map for a light tank in terms of spotting, so take advantage of that. However, the flip side is that with a light tank you can sometimes do this, especially if you're top tier, and Dave has now racked up 5 kills. So it's not as if he's not being useful for his team. There's only 3 of them left on the enemy team now. This Jagdtiger 88, a Centurion Mark 1 and a Crusader self-propelled gun. Crusaders over to the right hand side. Jagdtiger, we knew where he was anyway. Dave's coming around to put some flanking fire in. There we go. 3 shots left in the magazine. And Dave is coming around to see if he can find that Centurion. Now, on the one hand, we don't know exactly where he is. On the other hand, I think it's a pretty good bet that he's the other side of the train tracks. Artillery is no longer spotted, but if Dave can spot this guy, then, you know, he or someone else should be able to bag him. Goes for a reload on the magazine, and actually, Dragon City, in his M12 artillery piece, manages to pick up the kill on the Crusader SPG. Anyway, so that just leaves this Centurion Mark 1, who is rather outnumbered. Now, this is not a foregone conclusion. If we have a look around at Dave's team, oh, actually, they're pretty full health. T32 on almost full health, T71 on full health, SU-122-44 on full health, and 2 artillery. This is tricky for the Centurion. I'm not saying he can't win this, but it's difficult to do. Now, usually in this situation, the winning team has a load of tanks that have taken a bit of a battering, and there's the Centurion, and so they can be taken out relatively easily in this situation. However, that's not the case. And alas, I have no idea why the replay just ended there. But apparently that's all I've got. Oh, sorry, my apologies. I really wasn't paying attention. I thought the Centurion nailed the M12 artillery piece. Turns out the M12 shotgun the Centurion in the face. So that ended the game. I was looking at it going, why did it just end? Anyway, my idiocy aside, let's go and have a look at the post-battle results. Right, here we go then. That actually ended up being an ace tanker for Dave. Now, on the one hand, I was a little bit surprised because Dave wasn't really doing his own spotting there. And I didn't think that would net an ace tanker. On the other hand, I guess he was shooting generally higher tier targets, quite a lot of tier 8s in there, and he did put a fair amount of damage down. So, anyway, it was an ace tanker. Plus spotter, bruiser, arsonist, and fire for effect. Who did he burn to death? Cannot remember. Anyway, along with high caliber and a Top Gun medal. Actually, in the end, did a fair amount of blind damage, 3,246 damage done, 6 kills, 1,323 base experience, and if you look at it in terms of base XP or damage, I Am Not Dave clearly finished at the top of either metric on either team. 40 shots fired, 26 hits, 22 penetrations for that damage count. most of which was from more than 300 meters, so very much playing damage support. And actually in the end Dave also managed over 1100 assistance damage on... what tanks was it on? It was on that Yag Tiger, so Dave was picking up assistance damage on him, and the Chi-Ri, both of whom were fairly early on. 38,000 credit profit with a premium account. Dave didn't get shot at, or didn't get hit once, so he didn't have those costs to worry about, just a bit of ammunition resupply costs. Times 3 experience event on for the time, combine that with his premium account, and Dave made almost 6,000 experience, plus almost 300 free experience. So all things considered, a really nice result there from I Am Not Dave in the T71. I promised you some more auto-loading goodness, so let's go and have a look at it. Time for the second game now, and this one is courtesy of Captain Indigo from the British Centurions clan. Now, you may have seen a couple of games where I've been platooned up with Indigo before, but this is one of his own. He's not platooned up with anyone, he is on his Billy Goat's Gruff. He's driving the French Tier 9 medium tank, the Lorraine 40 ton. Now you may look at it and go, that looks remarkably like an AMX 5100, and yeah, you're right, it does look remarkably like an AMX 5100. Yeah, but it's not. It's a Lorraine 40T, so there we go. It basically gets the same 100mm gun as the AMX 5100, same terrible armor scheme, but it is faster, and the AMX 5100 is not a slow machine. And it gets a better reload time on that gun, being here, of course, at Tier 9. Now, this is a Tier 9 match, so Indigo is top tier. And we are here on... what's the name of this map? It's Sacred Valley. There's an AMX-30 who is potentially in a lot of trouble. The magazine damage output from this gun is 1800, 300 per shell. 6 shells leaves you with 1800. With a penetration of about 230 if memory serves. Just, well, no, didn't quite reload the next shell in time. Yeah, 232 for the penetration. One more shot should finish this AMX off, and the friendly AMX-30 manages to pick up the kill. 2 shots out of the magazine, 4 left, that means 1200 damage remaining in the mag. And whenever you're dealing with an autoloader, it's always worth keeping in mind how much maximum clip potential you have remaining, so knowing who you can and can't assassinate. That shot doesn't even hit the target, that one goes straight through, and that one picks up the kill. 1 shell left in the magazine, so Indigo goes for the reload, rather than just having 1 shot left and then having like a 30-40 second reload. I don't know what the exact reload on this gun is on this tank, but it's better than the 50 odd seconds you get on the AMX 5100 at Tier 8. Anyway, 2 enemy tanks have been dealt with, both on this flank, that's the AMX-30 and the T10. Not only is it 2 tanks dealt with, it's 2 top tier tanks dealt with. So that really is a nice impact on the friendly team's chances of winning. Tiger 1 and Tier 9 waffle thrower here. Mac flubs his first shot, unfortunately. Sorry, not Mac, don't know why I said Mac. Indigo flubs his first shot. Man tries to get himself into a position where the waffle can't actually shoot him anymore, and takes out the Tiger. 2 more shots should finish off this waffle thrower. 1 more shot, but the waffle thrower manages to pull back just a little bit, and the AMX-30 once again picks up the kill. 4th kill on the friendly team, and that's all of the Tier 9 tanks on the enemy team dealt with. And this flank cleared out. Now, despite all of the Tier 9 tanks on the enemy team coming over to this flank, and despite the friendly team killing them all, it looks like on the other flank things aren't going quite so hot, because the friendly team has taken 3 kills, and they are on the other flank. Now, this Borsig, is he AFK? I don't know. He's just sitting here, taking all this to the face. I'm not really sure why. I'm actually surprised he's lasted this long. Can Indigo Ninja the kill? Yes, he can. Kill number 3. 5 shells left in the magazine. Now, there's no artillery on the enemy team, which is excellent news, because artillery looks at French tanks and goes, om nom 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 nom, I will take all of your health away. Which makes you very, very sad if you're the one driving them. And suddenly, with a spate of kills from the enemy team, the friendly team are actually now losing. This is one of those situations where you look at it and, you know, the friendly team should be winning the other flank because they're against lower tier tanks. And one of their tier 9s, at least, was over there. In fact, one of their tier 9s was over there, the T10. But nonetheless, it seems the tier 9 tank, well, apart from Indigo and the AMX-30 here, it seems the other tier 9 tanks have sucked down on both teams. AT7 here puts a couple of shots in. The AT7 doesn't have an autoloader, but the gun reloads fast enough that, well, it might as well sometimes. And one more shot to finish this guy. There we go. So that 20-pounder really does reload quickly, but Indigo manages to do that without taking any damage himself. However, he does of course now have to reload the magazine and decides to be somewhere else to do so. The friendly base is under immediate danger. So Indigo is generally heading in that direction, but he's also in a position to put flanking fire into a lot of the enemy tanks. So really wants to take advantage of that. For example, that T28 he can kill. He can kill the T28 prototype, the IS-3. You know, he really can wreak a lot of havoc here. So priority number 1, T28. That's the pre-buffed one, of course. It hasn't got the 1500 health that the tank now does. And now he moves on to this prototype. One more shot should finish this guy off. And there we go. Doesn't even take any more damage for it. Charioteer. One more shot to kill this guy. There we go. And now someone really needs to go back to the friendly base to do some resetting. That, of course, is Indigo's 7th kill, all told. Rather impressive. And because I had XVM installed patch 9.12 when this game is from, I know that Indigo has done over 4,400 damage that we've seen, plus a bit of blind damage. Friendly team is going for the cap. Honestly, at this stage, they probably don't have to, but it would be foolish to get out of the cap with... Oh, hello, Mr. Tiger. With the enemy team capping as well. One shot into the Tiger 2. Friendly team caps. Kills the Tiger 2. And that's the game. Managing to sneak in a cheeky little 8th kill before the game actually ends. So, let's go and have a look at the post-battle results for this one. Alright, despite that game not actually running to its conclusion, i.e. despite the bases being capped rather than everyone dying, Indigo still managed to pick up a lot of experience for that game, and it ended up being an ace tanker, along with Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, High Caliber Top Gun, and Radley Walters medal with that cheeky little 8th kill. So quite a nice result there. Once you include the blind damage, you're up to 5,377 damage done, which is a very nice result to have. 8 kills, 1,253 base experience. Now, some people don't know, you do actually get an XP bonus for having killed all the enemy tanks, essentially. And you get less XP as a team for enemy tanks who are left alive. So that's why I say, despite that, he still managed to get a lot of experience. Also, probably should shout out the ISU on the friendly team, over 4,000 damage, and commiserations to the enemy IS-3s. They both put in good games. Frankly, it was just not enough, as the enemy tier 9s completely sucked out, unfortunately. 24 shots fired, 22 hits, 22 pens, 5,377 damage done, all from relatively close range. 1 enemy tank spotted, 10 damaged, 8 destroyed, little bit of assistance damage into the bargain, and even with a standard account, Indigo managed to make over 19,000 credits there, which is a rather nice amount to have. Times 3 XP for the first win of the day, so that ended up being, with a standard account, over 3,700 experience and over 180 free experience into the bargain. So I hope you guys enjoyed that pair of auto-loading replays there. If you did, by all means feel free to catch some of my other videos, or subscribe to my channel, or upload your own replays to whatreplays.com and send me the link in a PM on YouTube. And whatever you decide to do, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.